Dragon Kingdom is a 2018 follow-up to Knights of the Damned, once again directed by Simon Wells, with Ben Lloyd Holmes additionally returning as a writer, and Aston Benoit replaced James Morelli Green as a second writer. The film falls directly on as our heroes are fleeing from the hordes of undead furies. Faced with little in terms of options, they plan to navigate the Dark Kingdom in an attempt to get the princess home to her father, before her brother can carry through on his plan for power. Now you may be wondering, what the hell does that have to do with a dragon? Well, there's a dragon somewhere. Look, the working title was Dark Kingdom, and that makes so much more sense. Spain even kept it. However, France got Reign of Fire. That would be a very disappointing mess up. But who knows, maybe the film will prove to be superior to its predecessor. That's a low bar to overcome. Well, okay, it doesn't immediately carry on, as the film opens with a narration covering the events of the prior film. Knight sent to kill dragon pisses off, undead hordes are the new problem. Anyways, here we are in another village. I didn't really think to bring this up in the last review, but considering the film's repeatedly mentioned brutal conflict, it is rather odd to see borderline pristine villages without a drop of blood. The town in Ghost of Mars looked more ravaged than this village. Speaking of that film, here come the ghosts. I will say this film still has problems that plagued the prior entry, but they have improved overall. Stay behind me, princess! Which is something worth pointing out. Oh, and they can kill zombies now. How, you may be asking? By destroying the brain. Or I guess slicing the throat works too. Look, just let me know if you decide to shove any undead heads up their dusty tombs. That night, while resting, they discussed the possibility of Fabian raising a dragon army, and who could be helping him raise the dead. I'll be honest and say that a shirtless Wish.com voodoo practitioner was not something I'd guess. One moment of the actress realizing she isn't paid enough to do a nude scene, and George goes to do his best black swordsman arc demon fighting through the night. The next day, our party meets the innkeeper from the last film, as well as this doofus, who I thought died. At least the country pop fucker is dead. Wait, isn't there supposed to be a dragon in this film? You know, I can talk a lot of shit about this film, and I will, but the effects aren't terrible for a film of this tier. It's no Reign of Fire or Dragon Slayer by any means, but at the very least it's a step up from the last film. Well, Spyro here has come for the egg, so time to end this plot line.
I told you all that thing would bring us nothing but trouble.
Trying to continue on, the group realize they're facing a horde of undead, so a plan is hatched for the civilians and their idiotically equipped townsmen to head east for passage by sea, and the main cast will take the quickest route to reach the king. Only problem is that this leads them through the Dark Kingdom. I don't know how bad it can truly be. Since the last film, you found fucking mermaids and undead, all within the first 20 minutes. Speaking of the king, who plays him? Well, not Oscar Isaacs here, plays King Exalvador, who is played by Mike Mitchell, who has done his fair share of films and even did stunt work on the film Braveheart. Sadly, he passed away in 2021 at 65. Well, at least I don't gotta speak ill of the dead, since he's one of the better actors in this film.
My mind is with my wife, the Queen. I fear she gets weaker by the day.
At least as good as one can be with the writing they're given. Oh, and Fabian's here sporting a perm I suppose he got done before ransacking a village with undead. And just a minor detail that will come up later, but a group of warrior women are tracking our party. I like seeing the spears, but if this is meant to be a well-equipped assault unit as is implied, maybe give them something better than knives and bucklers. I mean, I don't know if they'll be able to handle the princess even, who the group is training to fight. George says block, while the warrior woman says dodge. Better and simpler idea. Let it glance off. Like, no, seriously, it's literally that simple. Well, hey, this montage is less headache-inducing compared to the first film, but it more than makes up for that in cringe. Okay, maybe I'm being harsh. Surely all of this training will help her in the future against an attacker of some kind. Alright, that's a dream, but it's still rather hilarious. They put it right after we see her do the constipation face.
Do you think the king suspects anything is amiss?
Well, I don't know, Fabian. Maybe hire some goons not born in a farm and you'll keep that low profile going. Also, how the hell do you know that the princess and the knights are still alive? I don't think he ever saw the knights in the last film. Hey, do you remember James and Thomas? They're back and sent out to kill our heroes. Somehow they also know right where they are. So now we have the warrior women chasing our heroes, their undead comrades chasing our heroes, and even this dope who decided to pursue the party, chasing our heroes. I definitely can't say the film doesn't try to be large in scope. Look, it took about a third of the film to reach this dark kingdom. At the very least, tell me it looks somewhat cool, that's all I ask of you. Well, our heroes piss off a rock monster. It's not a horrible costume, but it would be more impressive to see at a Ren fair than see in a film. So long as this is the lowest the costumes get, the film might actually be good. Well, White Mage Princess casts Calm and seems to work, allowing them to move deeper in. They better hurry because the bros are hoofing it. It's not long before they're attacked by very low-budget goblin demons, or something. Look, when I said the rock monster would look cool at Ren Fair, that was kind of because the costume looked like one thing. This big guy here looks like you could only afford part of two costumes, and it does not mix well. Anyways, we're down one, and our heroes are captured. Just be happy this film isn't dark enough to pull some Goblin Slayer pilot episode shit. Look, this is a kingdom, so I imagine that means someone is in charge. And who might that be?
I'm Retic, Lord of the Dark Kingdom.
Played by Sengiz Dervis, who is not in the worst makeup of this film, but definitely looks like he should be fighting 20-something teens in colorful costumes. He's going to keep our heroes chained up for a bit, while the bros show up to talk, after wasting a few dozen jobbers.
You dare defy your master? Master! You have no power here ever since you abandoned us.
Yeah, seems the creator of the undead also created the Dark Kingdom monsters. The dude sure is a busy bee. Look, this film somehow has more action, yet is almost twice as boring as the first film. I don't know how you did that, so I'm gonna speed it up a touch. Lizard King decides he'll go halvesies, and has the heroes fight for his amusement off the idea they'll go free. First fight is 2v2, that I think is trying to go for that classic small, fast versus big, strong fighter. It really only works to make Richard come off like an incompetent ass. The next fight is George versus the Minotaur, that I'm pretty sure is using the legs of that weird costume mix-up from earlier. It doesn't look good and is clearly too large for the actor, but at least it looks more natural here than with the flesh-colored demon mask. One decapitation later, and this honestly not too bad-looking Cenobite steps up, but of course the king needs to pull a Vince McMahon and step into the ring. It's a fight alright, and one that comes to an end when George somehow held onto his dragon claw tooth thing. I have no clue why they took all his weapon, clothing, and armor, but left that. But anyways, he stabs the Lizard King, causing him to capitulate. But hey, we got 10 more minutes and don't know how to wrap everything up, so big fight. Now big peace talk. And now we all cheer. Oh, and apparently maybe we can save those two guys by killing the wizard to cast a spell. And then I guess the dragon attacks the king's castle who Fabian has taken over. I guess. The film would have an internet premiere in the United Kingdom December 21st, 2018, with its final premiere being a DVD release in France June 3rd, 2021. I couldn't find a budget for this film, and frankly, I'm not sure if it was less or more. The fighting was better, the CGI was better, and the locations at least didn't have any modern-day equipment, at least not that I saw. Even the costumes, while cheap, did look to have some improvement. That said, I would not in any kingdom call this film good. It's boring and bland to a point that frustration doesn't even set in. You just feel tired and want to watch something else. Anything else. Honestly, I'd rather rewatch that gator film that I forgot the name of. Hi, Derek from the future here. It was a crocodile. The film is the second in a trilogy, but it moves the story forward so little. Also, filming was supposed to happen back in 2021 for the third film, and this film came out a year after the first one, so I don't think we'll be seeing the conclusion to the trilogy anytime soon. The Facebook page for the series is down, and all I have is the lead actor's word about being made 2 years ago. I do have a slight curiosity to see the end. I mean, I'm 2 movies in, but I'm not excited for it like I would be for Half-Life 3. Honestly, I'll just be sad if this trilogy gets done before Half-Life gets done. Come on, Gabe. Stop saying people will be disappointed due to the hype. Honestly, if it's just Half-Life 2 combat all over again, but ends the story, I'll be happy. You can't just tickle people's balls with Alex and walk away. Okay, I'm at a point I'd rather go off about Half-Life and Valve's counting problem instead of talking about this film. That should clue you in how I feel about this film. You could say it's a series best left in the dark. I need some good fantasy, and honestly, I think sci-fi is the way to go.
Stay behind me, princess!